Turkey hunting season is only about a month away, and today I'm going to be telling you guys about some of the most common turkey hunting mistakes. The first mistake that I'm going to be talking about is over-calling. Lots of hunters think that the more that you call, the higher the chances of getting a turkey is, and that's not true because sometimes you'll end up calling too much and the turkey won't come in. For example, if you're talking back and forth with a turkey through calling and it's responsive, you might want to leave it alone for a little bit because it'll think that I have to come to you because you're not responding. But if you keep responding, it's in communication with you and it figures I can just stay over here for now and I'll come over whenever I feel like it. So don't start calling until the sun's starting to rise, and don't keep on calling for like 10 minutes straight. You want to do a couple of calls at a time and then wait at least a half hour and then try again. And then when you do get a response, you can keep calling a little bit, but I don't recommend just constantly talking to it. The next mistake that I'll be talking about is shooting a turkey while its head is down. Anytime you're shooting a turkey, you want to make sure its head is up before you take the shot because it's basically got a big shield and it's tucking its head back into that shield. And if you can see part of the head and it's sideways, you still probably shouldn't take that shot because the bone that you want to hit, the neck bone, is at the back of its skin. So you need it to either be facing directly towards you or have its head up. So we'll move on to the next mistake, which is leaving when it starts to rain. Lots of hunters think that when it starts to rain, turkeys are just going to take shelter and you're not going to get a shot, but that's not always true. If it's a thunderstorm with heavy rain, then you're probably right. They're probably going to take shelter. But if it's just some light rain, you might actually greatly increase your chances of getting a turkey by staying out there. And if you think about it, when it rains, there's going to be bugs coming up from the ground, there's going to be worms coming up, and that's a perfect opportunity for turkeys to head out into fields or open areas and eat. Next up, I'll be talking about a really common myth about turkey hunting, and that myth is do not hunt in an elevated stand for turkeys because they will always be looking up because that's where most of their predators come from. You don't want to hunt anywhere elevated, and that's not always true. I've actually shot all of my turkeys from an elevated stand, and it's worked perfectly. I don't think they've really seen me ever unless I took a shot at them or I'm walking down from the stand. I don't necessarily recommend using a tree stand to hunt turkeys because they can see your whole body a lot easier. But hunting out of a tower is a good option. That's what I've shot all my turkeys out of, is a tower. And we use a black curtain at the back of the tower to kind of prevent them from seeing you. The light passing through on both sides, it kind of shades out your body outline from the turkeys, and it works really well. One thing to keep in mind with this is in a couple states, it's actually illegal to hunt out of an elevated blind, which I don't understand why, but I don't make the rules. Make sure you check the laws for your state before you go out hunting in a tower. The next mistake that I'll be talking about is a really common one, and that's arriving out to the stand too late. Waking up for turkey hunting is usually pretty brutal. It's really early, but if you don't get out there early, you're not going to have a good chance of getting a turkey. Right when it starts to get light out, you're going to want to start calling and actually get the turkeys to hear you and possibly want to come in the future. Of course, not too much. Like I said before, don't overcall. But in order to be out there in time for that, you're going to have to get up early, and you probably want to be out there at least an hour before sunlight, if not more. And by sunlight, I'm not talking about, going on the Weather Channel and checking what time the sun rises, because that's when the sun's already up. You want to be out there at the first light. So I just recommend checking your shooting hours and getting out there an hour before it starts. So the next thing that I'm going to be talking about is using 6-shot shotgun shells, and these are the best ones to use. And I'll explain this for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about. Different shotgun shells have different sizes. There could be a 3-inch Magnum, a 3.5-inch Magnum, and that's how much size the shell is. But inside the shell is the BBs, of course. And the smaller the number is, like a 2-shot shell, that would be really big BBs, but not many of them at all. And the higher the number is, the smaller the BBs are, but there's way more of them. And for turkey hunting, you have to try to find that perfect balance because you want to have enough that you're going to be able to hit the neck, which isn't a big target, but also you need big enough to actually kill it. When I started off turkey hunting, I was using a 20-gauge shotgun with 5-shot shells, and that's a little bit bigger shells, but not quite as many. And when I used it, I ended up missing 2 turkeys. I think I got 3 or 4 of them with it, but still, that's not very good. And then I switched over to 6-shot, which is a little smaller, but more of them. And the patterns changed drastically. So then I shot 6-shot with the 20 gauge for I think a year or two, and I shot 2 turkeys with it. And then I ended up switching over to a 12 gauge, still using 6-shot, and I still have not missed with 6-shot shells. The next mistake that lots of people make is not practicing before they head out turkey hunting. It would be really hard to mess up the sights on a shotgun, especially if you just have a bead sight, because it's staying there. It's not like a rifle where it's a scope and it can get bumped off. But you still want to be able to practice, because practice makes perfect, as you know, and the more you're going to practice with it, the more comfortable you'll be for turkey hunting. This way you'll know exactly what to expect when you pull the trigger on a turkey as far as recoil and pattern, things like that. That's going to be it for this video, and if you want to see me turkey hunting last year, then click on the video on the left-hand side of your screen, or if you want to see some common deer hunting mistakes, click on the video on the right-hand side of your screen. But anyways, thanks for watching.